Hello YouTube friends. Today I will be sharing my strawberry garden with you. It isn't the vegetable garden, but there's, certain sections of it, or the ground cover is going to be lots of strawberries. And so I have transplanted them from a different place. And well, here's the thing. It used to be, I created this circle raised bed sort of around one of the plum trees on the property. And it did look cute and it worked well, except when the robot mower came, that didn't work too well. It would climb up on the edges and cut down the strawberries and also, get problems. So it wasn't a solution that was working too well. And for that reason, I decided to simply transplant the strawberries over to the vegetable garden on the edges and around, certain things later on as the ground cover to prevent weeds, and especially in the cracks between the soil and the wood that is defining the beds. That's typically where there comes a lot of different weeds that just want to be, in that crack. And the best way of getting rid of that is simply to plant something else that takes up the space. And strawberries is awesome for that. It's so yummy. And then after the strawberries have been transplanted, and this is for every sort of plant, then it's quite important to water it because, it's a tiny little trauma for the plant and the roots, and it's a shifting environment, and it's lost its stability. So for that reason, I make sure to water them well right afterwards and also in the days ahead. It's almost like rain sounds, but maybe even a little bit more soothing because you can hear the water even more clearly. As you may see in the background, there's the leeks, not leeks, but the spring onion that is like the little brother of the leeks. It's been growing quite a lot since I planted it. And then I had this ordinary onion that just, it was not doing so well. It started sprouting in my pantry. And instead of throwing that away and put it in the compost, I decided to plant it. And I know that that can be like a plant that comes back every year if you don't dig it up. And the green stuff coming out of that in the beginning is also edible. So if treated that way, then that can actually work really well in a permaculture environment. So I'm going to test that out. I don't have all the different fancy onions that are out there. There's the Egyptian onion, I think they call it the wandering onion or something like that. And there's lots of other onions that are, just coming back every year and you don't have to replant them. But it's kind of difficult to get the seeds, and if you have the seeds, I've had some of them, I haven't had that much luck in getting them to sprout and survive. So that is a project for later on. But right now I'm just planting what I have and preparing the space, etc. And as you can see, I've been digging quite a lot, although this video, I was gonna have this a week ago, but then it's been so much rain and so much wind. It's simply not been an environment where you want to be outside, and so all of my garden work has been kind of postponed, and that's when you spend time inside instead with some candles, a blanket, and well, it's supposed to be summer, but it hasn't really been that yet. So in the meantime, you have to find other things to do. Now in this video, I am speaking softly, and I do actually prefer that. I know a lot of people love the whispering, but I would love to hear from you what you like the most, whispering or soft-spoken, and I will probably have a mix of it anyway, but it would be really nice for me to know if soft-spoken is something you like as well. Now that said, I am so grateful for every subscriber that I have received and all of you that are watching my videos. It is like, it is changing my life and my situation. And when I started out, I didn't know if anyone would be interested in watching anything that I had, and I definitely did not think that I would show my face on camera. I was starting out with just, generic videos with whispered sounds and soft-spoken things like soundscapes that are soothing, and I'm planning on continuing having some of that now and then, but I understood that people actually want to see the person. They actually want to get to know and have that authentic sense of somebody's life, somebody's presence. And that was, I understand it because I see it when I follow other channels, but it was a big step for me to actually think that I could do that. And I'm probably gonna make a video about the journey, from getting started, how I got into ASMR, how I got involved on YouTube in the first place, because it was definitely not my plan, and it was definitely not something that I was comfortable with, but here I am, and the more I do it, the more I am actually starting to love it, and I also, get better at the technical stuff of it, and then the videos get better, and hopefully that growth is just going to continue and continue so that the output can be, as good as it possibly can. So I just wanted to say that I am really, really grateful for anyone who has subscribed, and I do pray for anyone who subscribed and comment, because I like to do that. I pray for those that do that personally. It's like my little flock. Now, every day when there's nice weather and, somewhat okay outside, not too windy or not too cold or, not raining, I try to spend at least 1 hour in the garden, hopefully more, but I love it, and it's just not possible always, but I do love it. And then even early in the morning, I love just, getting right out there, straight in my pajamas, go out in the garden and start looking at things, weeding a little bit, or, doing small tasks. And then when I come in, I'm so refreshed, just having that serene moment in nature and moving the body and just being in that incredible peace. and then come in and make myself a wonderful breakfast. That is so awesome. I love it. And sometimes, because I love that kind of stuff, my breakfast can become quite late. It's more like lunch, and sometimes even later than that. But I like it that way. I like to move my body and be active before I start eating. And of course, I do make my own sourdough bread and some of the best smoothies, so it is definitely a meal to look forward to. And I do anticipate that I will bring you with me into the kitchen when I make that kind of stuff later on someday. After some weeks of rain and wind and not really good temperatures, it seems as if the summer is finally getting here, and I will be enjoying that a lot. I have barely been able to, sunbathe. Just like one day, maybe 2 days until now. But soon that is starting, and I wish we had a longer season for that kind of weather, but it's simply the way it is. But another thing that is here, because it is so far north, at this time of the year it doesn't really get very dark ever. I did wake up at 2 o'clock one of these nights, and I got up and I filmed this because it is interesting to see that even if it's 2 o'clock in the night, you can still see the light as if it is, sun is about to rise, which is basically what it is, although it takes a long time. So it never really gets proper dark during this time of the year. And I also got up at 3 o'clock, and then I filmed also, and at that point it was kind of not dark outside any longer. It was as if it was early morning, and that kind of like in the middle before the sun gets up. It's not dark, but it's not really light either, and the sky is definitely not dark, but the landscape is not really that light either. This is how it is to live in the nation of Norway. In the summer, it's quite confusing for kids to know when to go to bed, and it's, bright sun at 11 o'clock. It can be in further north in the country. There's sun all day long, like it never ever goes down. So it can be a little bit confusing for the system. I do not mind having a lot of sun, but I do think that it's a little bit wasted to have sun during the night and then have, in the winter when it gets dark at 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and you just don't have a long day at all. So I would definitely like to have that a little bit more even, but that's how it is. And it's a different type of life. You have to base your activities on it. Like in the winter, after it's dark at 4 o'clock, there's simply a lot of different activities that are not that relevant any longer. It is truly a blessing to be able to be here and live here. I'd rather have a hard time and some struggles in this wonderful place than to be located in, like a busy city or whatever. So I hope that you can get, a tiny bit of the same peace as if you're here for a moment when I'm filming. And of course, as always, if you like what you see and you like, Homestead, health, natural living, slow living, ASMR, it's a little bit of arts and crafts and things like that, well, don't forget to subscribe so that you can continue to see my videos and be part of the life here, follow the journey, and just get a little dose of that peaceful, relaxing life whenever you feel like it. Thank you for now. Thank you.